Welcome back to the Finer Details, a series where we go around the maps of Hitman 3, poke around some neighbours' houses, and care for an elderly gentleman for a bit. Today we're in Whittleton Creek, where we're just going to take a look around some of the houses. It's one of the smaller maps of Hitman 2, so let's see what we can find. Let's get started. First up, in the house where the barbecue is taking place, on the fridge there is a poster for Colombia, Colombia being where Santa Fortuna was set. We can also go into the house that's for sale, and on the table there is a hot plate. If you put a fish on top of that hot plate, it'll create some steam and also turn into some sushi, which can then be poisoned. Next up, we're going to take a look at a couple of t-shirts, first one being the Flamingos, which were the mascots from the Miami race, and also a t-shirt for Sierra Knox, which was in the Target's closet. Upstairs in Nolan Cassidy's room there's a couple of weights with the Gamma logo on them. And there's also his captain's hat as well, which has the logo for the Hitman Hotel. Looking now at the lawsuit that Mr. Batty holds on to, it's written by the Generic Lawsuit Company and describes Mr. Batty as an old stupid prick. Definitely interesting that they've gone into that much detail on a lawsuit that's used as intel.
Many diaries.
Moving on to the secret exit for the map now, and in terms of this map, there aren't as many as there usually is for the other maps. However, there is one where you find the paddle that is in the House of Sales garage, and if you head to this side creek part, near to the statue, there is an exit which results in 47 paddleboarding down the creek. In most of the households there are quite a lot of pictures around, and most of these are recycled ones, with the prominent ones being a couple of these pictures which reference the Paris map and the layout of those, and also the return of the Plaza painting from Sapienza as well. This map also has a strong prominence to a pizza, one being in the sewers to reference Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the other being on a roof to the right of the lamppost referencing Breaking Bad, where the pizza's thrown on the roof. We also have the return of the binary box for Help I'm Trapped in a Cardboard Box. This is in Helen West's house, which is quite fitting considering she's a murderer. Also in James Batty's shed there is a map of Sapienza from above, same one that's in the ICA facility on Sapienza. It'd be interesting to see why this is in here considering he has no affiliation I know of to the map. In Nolan Cassidy's house upstairs there is a laptop with this security image on it. If you play through the maps in turn, this won't mean much to begin with, however this is actually the same security room as where the necklace is in the Isle of Gale map, which is the next map in the series. The next one we're going to look at revolves around Janus, and when you murder Janus and then head down to the basement, in the basement on the wall there is a rather large painting that hides the secret passage. However, that painting holds a bit more than just the secret passage. If you go down after murdering Janus and point either a gun or a camera at the painting, some eyes will appear, and if you zoom in, those eyes will actually appear to look like golf balls used to replicate eyes, and these eyes will follow you around the map as well. Up in the treehouse, there's a couple of references to previous maps. You've got the car in the bottom left, which is the one from the main Sapienza mission. You've got a poster for Dino Bosco next to a target sticker, which is interesting considering he was the bonus mission of Sapienza. And you also have some alphabet and number stuff, which is from the Marrakesh school as well. On the park bench there is the dude that's supposedly reading James's diary as the intel. However, if you look closely, the page is actually upside down, so he's reading a book upside down. There's also the return of the map with the merged states for the United States. In the basement of the barbecue house there is this rug for Il Piccolo Mondo del Vino, which is the wine shop from Sapienza. Interesting to see how far that's come really. We also have this interesting house number 420 along the street, which in the garage, unsurprisingly, is a weed farm, because 420 blaze it, you know. In the basement that houses the secret tunnel, there is this instrument set up where you can play the track on there, and it'll start playing some music. This music, however, if you let it run on and don't let the people that come to check out the distraction turn it off, will actually provide you with a secret item. 47 can dance along if he wants, it doesn't really do anything. However, if a long enough time passes without anyone turning it off and the song ends, there will be a puff of smoke which will spawn a beak staff which can be used as a lethal melee weapon. It will also cause the skulls in the room when the music starts up to start dancing like so, and there will also be the skulls hanging down, which will spin as well. This happens only while holding the big stuff and while the music is on as well. As soon as you turn the music off, however, the dancing will stop, and then if you start it up again, they'll start off again. They're a cool, useful way to get an item. We also have another secret Easter egg in the house sale. Downstairs in it there is the secret vault with a secret door at the end. In order to get that door open, what you have to do is open the garage and then come round to the front door and push the doorbell 5 times. This is after you've opened up the door to begin with. Once you've pushed the doorbell 5 times, you can go in the front door either using the key, and then when you head down into the basement and go around the corner, you'll see that the door has opened at the far end. So all you can do now is just disable the security system, and then at the end of the room you'll find the statue as well as also a battle axe you can use as a lethal melee item. This statue also appears in the Bangkok level as well, at the top of the stairs near the penthouse part. It's interesting to see how they hide it away in this map, as if it's some sort of secret. And this is where you can see it in the Bangkok mission as well, so it's definitely the same one. Moving on to the recurring part of the Hitman 2 maps now, we've got the news article where there's a few of these we can talk through. The first one mentions around the Maelstrom being murdered and potentially being done by his old crew, the Crows, where we all know it's obviously 47 who murdered him.
Wazir Kale, better known as the Maelstrom, has reportedly died in Mumbai, India. Kale became a household name in 2014 when the hijacking of a Hamsun oil freighter descended into a deadly hostage crisis. Evidence suggests that Kale, a permanent feature on Interpol's most wanted list, may have been part of the terrorist ring responsible for the kidnapping of Ether CEO Nelius Duvall and the murders of a dozen other leaders of industry. Mumbai police has yet to reveal the cause of death, but rumors abound that Kale was likely taken out by members of his old criminal gang. Wazir Kale.
The next news article we've got is to do with someone called the Censor, who is a serial killer who grades people based on how much they struggle during their murders. This one actually becomes an elusive target that takes place on Whittleton Creek later on in the life of Hitman 2. It's definitely interesting to see them preempt their content like this, and it's definitely something that probably is hidden elsewhere in the maps if we looked close enough. It also mentions Dr. Oscar Lafayette, who was the dude who cured Silvio Caruso in the Sapienza mission. Well, cured before we murdered him, of course.
Rumors abound that killer known as the Censor, who grades his victims based on how much they struggled, has struck again in Montpelier, Vermont. The latest victim, a retired firefighter, received the highest grade so far, a B-. And FBI profilers theorize that the killer may stop only once he encounters an A+. This has led psychologists, such as the renowned Oscar Lafayette, to conclude that the Censor harbors a death wish and may long to be killed by one of his would-be victims. Until then, citizens of Vermont are strongly advised to lock their doors and resist the urge for vigilantism and misplaced.
The third article we've got is to do with a new film festival that takes place in Sapienza in the memory of Dino Bosco. Dino Bosco being the film director and actor that we murdered in the Icon bonus mission in Sapienza.
A new indie film festival in the memory of cult Italian film director Dino Bosco opens in Sapienza, where the eccentric filmmaker met his untimely end. The exclusive Amalfi Coast vacation spot has seen its fair share of spectacular deaths over the recent years, and appropriately, the theme for this year's festival will be European Art Noir. Ticket sales have so far been exclusive Amalfi Coast vacation.
The next one's to do with a climate conference. This is taking place in Sweden. There's not much referencing in the main game here. The closest thing we've got is Sweden, where we had the Swedish consulate in the Marrakesh level. But other than that, nothing much else to say with it really.
Ticket sales have so far been Scientists, environmental NGOs, and green energy companies alike are holding their breaths as state leaders prepare for next month's pivotal climate summit in Kiruna, Sweden. After many past disappointments, expectations for a historic climate treaty are high, and proponents believe Kiruna to be a watershed moment, ushering in a new era of environmental responsibility and innovation. One can only dream disappointments.
And the final news article we've got is to do with a painting that's in a gallery in Barcelona that turns out to be fake. This one is, however, referenced in a later map, the Isle of Sgàil, with it being sold apparently to the Isle of Sgàil as the real one.
One can only dream. At the Gorka Museum in Barcelona, Impressionist master Emil Gorka's most celebrated work, The Artist as a Blank Canvas, has been revealed as a fake. And, predictably, the rumor mill has gone into overdrive. When was the original replaced? Did the Gorka Institute stay silent out of fear of losing millions of annual visitors? One thing is for certain, the court of social media is already in session.
Janus.
The final Easter egg we've got, and one of the bigger ones for the map, is how to turn Janus into a happy old fellow rather than the grumpy one is in a normal map. In order to do this, we need to complete the Elderly Assistance Challenge, which requires you to place a muffin on the kitchen table, pour him some tea from that same table, put on the gramophone in his library, take out his personal bodyguard so he can visit Helen West, put cigarettes on his table next to the oxygen tank, get the doctor to come and do his medical check, and also to block the mole holes in the garden. What this results in is a Janus that takes a lot of happy strides rather than just his usual hunched over walk. It doesn't change his route at all, but it's just nice to speed him up a bit and to know it actually makes a difference in the game rather than just doing them for the sake of it. That's all we've got for the Whittleton Creek map. Next up, we'll be moving on to the Isle of Sgàil, so be sure to stay tuned, like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next one.